Today I'm going to be talking about how to purchase a vehicle and the easiest way to find the things that you're looking for on the manufacturer's website. That's your first tool. So you don't have to keep calling dealers. You don't have to keep asking, what pricing is. You can actually do a lot of this pricing right from the manufacturer's website to give you somewhat of an idea before you ever walk through the door of a dealership. It is so easy. So each one of the manufacturers have what they call a price estimator or price payment calculator on their web page. And as you can see, I'm on Kia right now, and I've already selected that. So you can see either a finance or a lease and get a general idea of what your payment may be. You also get to see what the manufacturer is offering, so you don't have to rely on what's being said at the dealer. These payments that you see, just so you know, whether it's a finance or a lease, do not include, I repeat, do not include taxes or dealer fees. Motor vehicles is not included. So these are add-ons when you go to the dealer. An expectation, whether it's a finance or a lease, it's approximately about maybe $3,000 or so of what is to be expected on top of your selling price. Okay. Now, if it's a pre-owned car, the fees may be a little bit more if the dealer has what they call a reconditioning fee, but it's that plus your taxes and your motor vehicles. Okay. Their dealers have a dock fee. The dock fee is the dealer's license to be able to process your paperwork and documents and your plates. Now, this changes per state, just so you know. Each state is slightly different, and all the dealers that are licensed, they have to be compliant with their state. So whatever their fees may be, I'm almost 100% certain would have to be within compliance of their state laws. If not, then the consumer fraud laws will apply, and that dealer will be held accountable as such. But for the most part, a dealer is going to have a dock, then you have your DMV, and then you have your taxes. Some dealers may have etching on their cars. That might be optional for some. Some it might not be. Some dealers will have a reconditioning fee towards their pre-owned cars, plus their other fees. But those are all add-ons on top of what you're seeing selling price. And as I'm going through this Kia website here, they offer you, like if you have loyalty, meaning another Kia in the household, you have that, or military. Now let's go into Hyundai. And Hyundai, same process basically. They have a payment calculator, and again, excludes all taxes and fees. They're not included in your pricing. But just so that you can get an idea, if the taxes and fees are figuring somewhere about $3,000, you can divide that by the term that you're financing. So about 3 years, basically, for a lease, that's about maybe $60 to $80 in a monthly payment. So if your payment comes up and it's $416, add the $60 or the $80 on top of that, and that's going to be your payment. Now, this also does not include any market adjusted price. If the dealer has a market adjusted price for the new cars because of lack of inventory, that is not going to reflect on the manufacturer's webpage, just so you know. So after you've done your legwork here, you get a general idea on rates and programs, and you do your payment calculator. After you select your car or build your car for what it is that you're looking for in a vehicle, for the brand that you are interested in. And if you got 3 brands narrowed down, then narrow down those cars, build those cars on the manufacturer's website. Make sure you look at the features of what each one of those brands are offering in their cars. Because if you're selecting a particular trim level, let's say you just wanted heated seats, and that's one of your main features you have to have, But when you select on one of those cars that come with heated seats, it may have an additional feature. You can't expect for that car to be at the same price as the other ones that you're looking at, because the other ones may not come with those additional features. So it might depend on the build. So as you build your cars on their website, make sure you look to see what features are standard in the car, and then what maybe end up being an option. So select your zip code. Will give you an idea of the dealership in your area on pricing. Now, if you are from out of state and you are looking to purchasing a car in a different state, because the state you're in, none of the dealers seem to have the product that you're looking for, understand that the rules and laws are different per state, okay, of buying a car. And what your dealers may choose to do in your state will not comply to a completely different state. So it all depends on how badly you want the car. If you want to do business out of state, but you can. It's not hard, it's pretty easy, but just know that the fees are going to be different than where you are at. So as I'm now on to the Toyota website here, and I'm looking at a Camry, 36 months, 12,000 miles a year. They were asking for $3,600 due at signing. I didn't want to put anything down, so now it's giving me this payment. And again, this does exclude taxes and fees. So I would have to add taxes and fees on top of what I'm seeing here. This gives me a general idea of what it is I'm paying, or I have to come up with the taxes and fees. And if that's the case, call a dealer ahead of time, try to find out what that equates to for you, and include that as your money down, so you don't have to be paying Uncle Sam or paying interest to Uncle Sam in a car payment, if you can afford to come up with taxes and fees. Otherwise, you're going to be rolling it in. And as you can see, I zoomed in just to show you that those things are not included in this pricing. And so, shopping for a new car has not been fun or easy. Find out from your local dealers what their market adjusted price is. If they don't have a market adjusted price, just to make sure they're not calling it some other kind of fee, which is being upfront with you. If they truly are doing MSRP, that's great. That's magnificent. Take advantage of it. Don't hesitate. Make sure they have the cars in stock, because a lot of times they'll tell you that they're doing those things to bring you in to get your information, knowing, one, they don't have the car, or two, they really are charging more than the MSRP, but they just want to bring you in the door. You're not going to be able to get around 100% of not being able to pay over list or pay list for a car. I know a lot of people said they will never pay MSRP for a vehicle, but now everyone is asking to pay MSRP for a vehicle because the way the market is. You still have folks still saying that dealers are gouging or take advantage of the market. But keep in mind, when a dealer has hundreds of cars in inventory on any given day before this market became what it was, you were getting discounts and nobody was paying list for a car. But now you take away the hundreds of cars that they used to be able to sell and move to metal. You're now at a situation that they got 10 or 15 cars. It makes it a big difference on how they have to view their business and where they can go. So most times there's going to be a market adjusted price. Now, from what I've seen, market adjusted prices have ranged anywhere between $1,000 over MSRP and as high as $10,000 over. If it's a premium market car, it has been somewhere between $5,000 and as high as $20,000 over MSRP. So premium cars have gone back to being real premium luxury cars as far as their pricing. I've had clients clear as day have had some of the nicest luxury cars out there, but for a pretty inexpensive payment. That is not the case today. For those who are coming back off lease, they're finding that their payments are either doubled or tripled from what they were paying, from 3 years ago. So just be aware, there are other brands out here that clear as day that can still meet your needs if you're used to having a premium car. You still got Buick, you have Mazda, which is a Japanese brand that builds cars like German brands. So if you're one of the big German fans and you like Mercedes, Audi, or BMW, then your alternative vehicle might just be a Mazda for you. They build cars very similar to them, even though it's a Japanese made car. And Mazda's been highly rated lately over the last 5 to 6 years. They've been in the top 5 recently, last year and this year. Top 1 and 2 for reliability as far as Consumer Reports. Safest manufacturer right now in the United States over the past 3 years straight, according to the Highway Safety Institute. Once upon a time, from 2013 to 2018, the most fuel efficient brand in the United States, according to the U.S. federal government, the EPA. So that's a brand to not sleep on. If you can get to a Mazda brand or their dealership, I suggest or highly recommend buying one. If not, it's okay. There's plenty of other good brands out there that will serve your need. So now on Mazda's website, I worked up a lease here. I didn't want to put anything down, so 0 down. So even though you're still seeing payment due at signing, that's my first payment. Finance 2.9 rate, 1.9 for 36, 2.9 for 60. Now keep in mind also, the reserve has been increasing rates, and they're going to increase the rates even more before the end of the year. So rates have gone up, and they're going up from month to month. It's another reason to not wait. I know people are still saying, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Take advantage of what you can get your hands on now. If you can get your hands on a car now, commit to it. But you got to work your deals. The same way you did before all of this happened. You went to a dealer, you sat down with your salesperson, and you worked your deal. Work your deal. Okay? You're not going to be at your $200-$300 a month payments. That's not realistic. But reality is, you can still work a deal. If the dealers aren't willing to work with you, then go to another dealer. But for the most part, don't be intimidated by the market adjusted price. Go sit down with your salesperson and have them work for you. You worked hard for your money. Now have somebody work hard for you. Try to make the deal. But also keep in mind, be somewhat realistic. Don't give your salesperson some hurdles that you know they can't clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want to be $300 a month, or I need to be $350 a month. Be realistic. Do the math at home. This is why I'm showing you the video, how to go about pricing up your cars, regardless of what brand you're looking at. Work out a deal with your salesperson and go get the car that you're looking for. Now, this is BMW's website. I know this is a X7. This is a real expensive car, but still, at the end of the day, it applies just like all the other brands. It does not change. What it is you're looking for, put your zip code in so you can see what programs are for your area, and try your best to see what it's going to come to with the payment calculator. So now let me switch to a more practical car here, which is the X3. Want to kind of figure out features for the cars. Now, brands like this, what they do that's so different than your mass production brands, basically, is that there's packages. When you look at that interior, things of that nature, there's so many to choose from. But keep in mind, when you're picking these nice leather interiors, if they're charging you, $1,500 or $2,500 for those things, and then you go to a brand like, like Mazda or Buick, and you're taking a look, those things will already be there. You're not going to have those options, but the quality is still the same. These brands aren't slacking on you. They're giving you just as good as quality, if not better in some cases, than some of these brands. So here's an X3, and I drive, and here you have a finance payment and a lease payment. You can see they're not that far apart. For your cash buyers, obviously you guys gonna have the easiest turn, because all you need is a total amount out the door, and you can write a check or get a check from your bank and just go ahead and pay it off. But for the most part, for your financing and your leases, try to get most of your legwork done. Thank you guys for tuning in and taking a look at my website and at my YouTube channel here. Please subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. Now, I know I'm still here on the BMW website, and I'm still going through a finance versus a lease so that you can see the difference, as I've been doing from manufacturer to manufacturer, so that you can have somewhat of an idea. Don't let your market adjusted prices scare you. Sit down, work out a deal with your salesperson. If the dealer is being stern or sticking to their guns on their market adjusted price, then you can go ahead and move on and try another dealer. But for the most part, don't let it discourage you. Go out there, get your automobile. Don't let none of this stop you from accomplishing what you need to get accomplished. But just keep in mind, if you're coming off a lease and you have a really low payment, you also have the option to buying out your lease. So you can either trade that car in and use the equity towards the new car, which is what most dealers have been doing, which offsets a lot of the market adjusted price. You do have the option to selling a vehicle to CarMax or Carvana or any of the other third-party sites out there that want to buy your vehicle. But just keep in mind that although those companies are overpaying for your car, that is consistently keeping the pre-owned market where it is. There is a such thing as a true trade-in value, and there is a thing as a market price, average selling price. For what the car could be sold for is not the same thing for what it can be traded in for. You get a tax break on the taxes towards the new vehicle that you are purchasing if you're trading in the car. So your trade-in is always less. If you are just selling the car, then you're selling it at market price, then that's a different story. But if you're going to go to a dealer, they're going to give you trade-in value for the car, not unless you're just selling it to them. If you're just selling it to them, then you're just selling it. But if you're truly trading that car in and you go, oh, well, you know what, CarMax is giving me XYZ additional money towards the car, you know, you can still go in and sell your car there. They'll give you a check and you come back and apply towards the new car. Or you have to understand that the tax savings that you're getting is your true trade-in value of the car, because it applies towards the new taxes on the car. It's reducing those taxes for you, so you're not paying as much as taxes. So again, I'm just going through Mercedes page here. Their website seemed to be a little bit easier to operate than some of the ones I was just on. And it gives you a general idea. Now, this one does include taxes, but does not include dealer fees. Again, make sure you try to find out what it is that you're looking for. And when you call a dealer, to try to get an estimate on what it's going to cost you in taxes and fees out the door. Now, the way this Mercedes-Benz website works, you type in your zip code and it figures out the taxes for that area that you're in, what that's going to cost, but it still does not include your dealer fees. So understand that there's always going to be some plus on top of what you're seeing advertised selling price of a vehicle. I kind of wish other manufacturers made it this easy when you use their payment calculator on your page, because then it just comes down to really what the dealer fees are. So I hope this video has been very helpful.